This is the 5th annual summit, the 5th. And when I started this work personally 5 years ago, I had no idea what the Office of Innovation would look like, would do, would be. And we look around now, and it's really been shaped and formed by you all, this community of learners, and the work that we do together. And none of it would be possible if we didn't have the support of some pretty visionary leaders in our state. And what I would like to do at this point is I would like to welcome to the stage our Secretary/Commissioner of Education. I've been calling him SecCom in the office. Has anybody gotten that for the SecCom yet? As we work through all of that, so that he can talk with you, because I know that the work that we all are doing, is something that's very near and dear and important to him. So I'd like to welcome Secretary Key to the stage.
Okay, Dr. Rolla, could you help me out for a second? Sure. Could you bring one of those drums out for me, please? Just right out there, right out there. Yeah, yeah. That's good, right there. All right, could you hold this one? I'm going to bring you my words with a beat. Not really, but I had you going, didn't I? Stacy Smith's like, oh, what's he doing? Well, I knew that'd be a good laugh for my team. Some of you that don't know me that well, you're probably like, what was that all about? But I will hear about that when I get back to the department, I guarantee you. Denise talked about our vision. Transforming Arkansas to lead the nation in student-focused education. And we talked about this being the 5th Innovation Summit. The growth of this event has been unbelievable. And now when I look at these banners, and these are but a representation of the work that's going on around the state with respect to innovation, it really excites me more and gives me more motivation to show the support that we need to show at the department for the work that you all are doing. So thank you. Thank you for engaging in that work, and thank you for sticking with the work. How many of you, this is not your first Innovation Summit? It is not. Okay. All right. So those of you that just raised your hands, in your journey with respect to bringing innovation to your school, how many of you have had everything work exactly like you wanted it to at the very beginning and all throughout the process? I don't see anybody's hands. How many? Oh, there's a couple back there. It worked out. Oh, the kids. They say, yeah, this works out great. Let me tell you what I think I saw up here. I saw some kids that were having a blast. You look at their faces, and man, they are getting into it, and they're grooving. And then you've got some that I think it's like, oh, I don't want to mess my beat. I don't want to mess. So they're really focused on maintaining that beat. And some of them, you could tell, like, oh, when do we eat? I'm ready. When do we eat lunch? But hey, try say, yeah, I see you guys. Yeah, I'm the one ready to eat. That was me. Guys, y'all did a fantastic job. Let me just tell you, great job. And so what I'm excited about with the student presentations is when you can convey your learning to somebody else, especially a room full of adults, what does that do? It reinforces that learning. It sets it. It's like concrete. You're not going to forget that. If you can explain what you've learned and how you've learned it to somebody else, that is going to be a game changer, because you're not going to forget that. So these kids, these students that are here this week, they are not going to forget this opportunity to bring what they have learned and how they've learned it to you. And I hope you will take that back to your school and your district and be able to build on that, and that you will also encourage them, encourage those students for the work that they are doing. So wanted to thank you for your continued involvement in this work. Also, I want to give you something to consider. Have any of you, there's a new documentary out on Netflix. I've only watched the first part, but it's on Bill Gates. Have any of you watched any of that? There's a couple of hands. I encourage you to watch it. You don't have to be a fan of Bill Gates to understand why this is important. So, Bill Gates is certainly a person that you can point to as being an innovator. And now after he has made the career in the billions of the work that he did building his business, building the technology, using that, rolling that out, and really has changed drastically how we do business, he is now focused on some other things. And the story goes in the documentary that he was reading a report, an international report, and a word that jumped out of the page at him was the number of children around the world that are dying of what we consider just oftentimes an inconvenience: diarrhea. And when he saw the number of kids that were dying, he thought, how can this be? We in the United States and the Western world, we are very accustomed to the comforts of what we don't even consider modern technology. We consider our sanitation system now to be a given because we've had it so long. Many of us were raised without anything else. Not very many of us know someone at least in our current generation, or maybe even the one before us, that lived in a home that did not have indoor plumbing, that was connected to a city or some governmental entity sanitation system. But that's not the life that many families and children live in the third world. So he started a process. He started asking some of the greatest innovators, the greatest minds, the greatest engineers, those with the background in technology, to come together and try to find a solution to that problem using innovation, using technology we already had, but putting it at a scale that was something that could be on site in these villages in the third world countries. And as you watch that documentary and you see the process that it went through, it's been going on for years. And they are just now getting to a point to having this type of technology that is scalable, that is economically feasible enough to be able to roll it out. So I just ask you to think about that in terms of what we have been doing as a state of Arkansas for more than 5 years, but certainly the intensity of the work has been going on the last 5 years. Are we where we need to be? No, we're not. Are we better? Are we in a better place than we were when we started? Absolutely. But it's going to take the same dedication to our students, the same dedication to the process of getting better, continuous cycles of improvement to get us to where we want to be, which is that world-class education system, so that our students, no matter what they come from, what they bring with them, their background, their family history, the trauma that they bring to school with them, is overcome by the work that you are doing in the classroom, the interactions that you're having with these students, the interactions that they are having with each other, and the agency that they are able to develop moving forward so that they are prepared for success no matter what life throws their way. That's what you all are engaged in. So I want to thank you for that, because those are things that do not show up frequently in school letter grades. There are things that don't show up in test scores. But let me tell you where they do show up. They show up in growth measures. Whether you use NWA MAP or whether you use Renaissance, whatever it is that you use, if you are looking at growth of your students, you are going to see a difference. If you are looking at the growth in your students of those intangibles, a student that starts out the year afraid to speak out in class, and by the end of the year, they are leading presentations, they are directing the works of their small groups, they are doing those things that show growth in here. That's the work that you are doing. And for that, I want to thank you. Because you are doing that, we are going to achieve our vision of leading the nation in student-focused education. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to visit with you. I hope you have a great conference.